Look, at this point, I know you're all probably sick and tired of hearing about Will, Jada, and all their shenanigans, or entanglements. From her Red Table Talks that debuted in 2018, confessing to under-wrapped mishaps, unprovoked, to the whole incident involving August Alsina. Stay tuned for that video. And of course, that infamous slap at the Oscars, which unbeknownst to him being Will, would have folks investigating like bootleg extras off of the X-Files, scooping through the Will and Jada archives and rediscovering a swarm of once hidden truths about his and Jada's beloved union. As if their public image as Hollywood's it couple wasn't steadily sinking like the Titanic, Jada's relationship with longtime friend and rapper Tupac Shakur had also been cherry-picked out of the 90s vault. We all know Jada and Pac were extremely close back in the day, but some seem to think Jada and Tupac were way more than what they've claimed to have been. Some evidence given Willow's letter to Tupac and the fact they've actually shared a kiss once upon a time. This prompted many to believe that she'd rather have married him instead of Will, to which she herself kinda confirmed. But hold on. It seems as though everyone has got it all wrong regarding Jada's real relationship with Tupac. So what exactly lies beneath this Will, Pac, and Jada iceberg? First things first, in order to dissect all of this, we have to take it back, all the way back to the beginning. In case you didn't know, Jada and Tupac go way, way back, meeting in the mid-'80s while both attending Baltimore School of the Arts. A teenage Tupac had introduced himself to a teenage Jada, who described him as funny-looking. Nevertheless, his magnetic aura and charm reeled her in, and the two quickly became inseparable all throughout their high school years. The two were dang near attached at the hip. As far as personalities go, Jada and Pac couldn't have been more different, yet so alike in many ways. Their lives shared underlying similarities, which they'd later discover. Aside from their shared love for the arts and acting, drugs were one of the shared staple additives in both of their lives, with alcohol being another. At the start of their friendship, Jada was a drug dealer, as well as a drug abuser, and had unfortunately been exposed to that lifestyle by her mother, Adrienne, aka Gammy. Battling depression and thoughts of unaliving herself, weed, ecstasy, and other variations of pills became her go-to mechanisms in order to get high. On the contrary, and from what we know, Tupac himself may not have ever taken drugs directly, but his mother, Afeni Shakur, had been deeply involved in the drug scene, crack cocaine being her go-to drug of choice. Other similar aspects of Pac and Jada's lives, besides both of their mothers being avid drug users, were their troublesome childhoods and the trauma that lingered. Both were exposed to criminality, street life, drugs, and violence at very young ages, and unfortunately for Jada, she'd succumb to her environmental upbringing. But that wouldn't last long. As their careers began to blossom, their personal lives were steadily changing. While Jada's drug usage and criminal lifestyle decreased, Tupac, the prophetic poet, inspiring musician, and past ballet dancer, was in the beginning stage of his whole thug life persona. After being casted as the ex of Jada's character Lena James in an episode of the 90s sitcom A Different World, viewers got the chance to witness their on-screen chemistry, with some believing the on-screen romance was a tale of art imitating life. It didn't help that Tupac was referred to the director Kadeem Hardison by Jada herself. Kadeem even admitted that he was jealous of Pac's range as an actor. This wouldn't be the first nor last time a high-profile figure would confess their jealousy of Pac. When Jada had met Will Smith back in 1994 on the set of The Fresh Prince, he'd immediately taken a liking to her after she auditioned to play the role of Will's girlfriend. Despite not getting the role due to her height, yeah, you heard that correctly, Will became infatuated with her. So infatuated that he's actually admitted that while on a date with his first wife, Cherie Zampino, all Will could think about was Jada. The two would eventually end up in a relationship, and Jada quickly had become known as the Fresh Prince's shorty. Being together meant introducing each other to those closest to you. So naturally, Will had been introduced to Tupac, thanks to Jada, who had also encouraged Will to hang out with Pac, noticing similarities between the two. As we know by now, Will wasn't down for it, probably because he was low-key, high-key, suffering a raging jealousy against him. Disclosed in his 2021 memoir, Will, he confessed that he had felt intimidated by Pac and regretted not opening up to him. When the two were in a room together, Will couldn't even speak to him and was deeply insecure about Pac's and Jada's relationship. He even went as far as to say that he wanted Jada to look at him the way she looked at Tupac, and that he wasn't what Tupac was in the world. If she chose me over Tupac, there was no way I could be a coward. I have felt rarely more validated. With all of this being disclosed, it's no wonder people assume Pac and Jada's relationship was more than what they led us to believe, since they surely sounded like a case of the ex, rather than an innocent friendship. As if Will's confessions didn't shake the red table, or the world, hard enough, it would be the little razzle-dazzle sprinkled on top of an already suspect situationship. People have suspected that Tupac and Jada were in a romantic relationship years prior. One of the biggest indicators used being about Jada's state of being whenever Tupac's name is uttered, or how distraught she becomes when discussing him. Pac described Jada as being his whole heart and would have given his kidney or other organs if she needed.
I mean, it was beyond friendship.
And although Jada has always equated Pac with being a father figure, brother, and best friend wrapped in one, the chemistry the two shared was undeniable.
He was like a brother-father figure to me. Very protective, and we took really good care of each other.
Suspicions of their romantic involvement were heightened when an alleged letter to Tupac, written by Jada's daughter Willow, then aged 11, went spreading around the interweb. In the letter, Willow allegedly stated how unhappy her mama was at the time and begged Tupac to come back in order to make Jada and herself happy. The letter read, "Dear Tupac, I know you're alive someplace. I think that my mommy misses you. Can you come back so mommy and me can be happy? I wish you were here. I really do. Love, Willow." And if you're wondering, yes, Jada and Will were very much married at this time. Last year, Jada took to her Instagram to share a poem written by Pac titled Lost Souls, which brought the never-ending speculations about the two's relationship to the forefront yet again. Other poems written for Jada, specifically the one where Pac states that Jada brings him to climax without sex, and the tears in Cupid's eyes, also doesn't help the romance rumors, on top of the fact that the two have actually shared a kiss before, which Jada says was the most disgusting kiss for the both of them. Given the fact both Jada and Pac have denied any romantic involvement throughout the years, people can't help but force something that was evidently just not there. Talks of Jada still being in love with Tupac and even cheating on Will have come up time and time again. But what many fail to realize is the overall dynamic in Will and Jada's marriage. A conventional marriage isn't something Will and Jada subscribe to. Matter of fact, Jada never wanted to marry Will in the first place.
Let's talk about the wedding. I was like, I never wanted to be married,
but made the ultimate decision to do so. But we'll discuss that in another video. Jada described the friendship she shared with Pac as volatile, and the older she became, the more she understood what her and Pac's relationship was all about. A platonic soulmate that a select few get to experience in this lifetime. What others may also fail to recognize is that a soulmate isn't only a romantic pairing. A soulmate pushes you to grow in order to be the highest version of yourself, who encourages you and sticks by you no matter what. A soulmate inspires you to complete yourself, and that's exactly what Tupac was to Jada, a soulmate. Friendships like Tupac and Jada's come once in a lifetime, so it's only natural for her to become distraught when he is dragged into a conversation. When he died in '97, she was angry at Pac for leaving her here on this earth to survive without him. survival. That's how it started, and that was the foundation for their relationship. As far as Will and Jada goes, both had agreed to a lifelong partnership many moons ago, and it seems as if the public is just now catching on. Besides, no one says anything when Will is out and about traveling the world with his 20-plus girlfriends. Now that's a video you don't want to miss. What do you think about Tupac and Jada's relationship? Let us know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments, and stay tuned for more true celebrity stories.